Hey family, how are you? So I have a story to tell. And for those of you who've been following me on YouTube for a really long time and you like the OG of the OG of the OGs, you may have heard this story before, but what prompted me to tell it again was because, yeah, she saw me today, and if I would have got beat up, you wouldn't have known why. So this is why I would have got beat up today. So I just got in the house and I'm packing my laundry, and I figured I'd give you guys this story time while I'm packing my laundry because I literally just ran into the person that I did it to, and I didn't know if they was going to beat me up or not. And if they would have beat me up, no one would have known why. So y'all deserve this story time. I'm going to start by saying this is not one of my proudest moments. I'm not proud at all. But let's keep this story as short and as to the point as possible. So some odd years ago, I used to live a couple doors down from where I live right now. When I was living there, there was a couple downstairs. They lived downstairs from me, and I lived upstairs. And I had a significant other, and you know, they were a couple. And it was very evident that her baby daddy was fine as fuck. Like, he was fine. He was like tall, chocolate built, handsome, fly, just, he looked like something out of a magazine. But I never really, I thought of it, but I didn't acknowledge it because I'm in a relationship. That's my neighbor. What? So we used to always see each other in passing, whatever. So one day, my boyfriend had cheated on me, and I was downstairs in like the hallway crying. I live in Brooklyn, New York. We have hallways. So I was in a hallway and I'm like boohoo crying, like crying. And he comes out and he like, you good? You okay? What's wrong? And I'm like, oh, I'm fine. And he like, nah, you all right? I can't just leave you sitting there, whatever. We start conversing, whatever. After that, we would still see each other in passing. My significant other was no longer there because he cheated on me. But him and his girlfriend, fiance, baby mother, whatever their situation was, they, you know, they still live downstairs. And he would say hi and bye or whatever. And he was just one day like, hey, I need somebody to talk to. Are you available to talk to me? And I'm like, sure, I guess. Like, I don't see no harm in it. You want to talk? Sure. And he was like, all right, meet me around the corner. Let's go walk and let's talk. I'm like, okay, cool. So we was walking and talking, and he was telling me about his problems. I was venting to him about my problems. Whatever. We just friends, okay? Copy, cool. That's it. And we did that a couple times. Like, we was walking, we was talking, we exchanged numbers, we was chatting. Remind you, yes, this is my neighbor's baby daddy. It's girl. Shitty. But I was still texting, talking or whatever. Then one day I come out the house and I see her in the hallway crying. And she's like in the hallway breaking down crying, like boo-hoo crying. And like I wanted to walk past her so bad. I actually did. I went and took my trash out, and as I walked past, the cry got louder. And I was like, fuck. Like, I should say something. I should say, are you okay? But you like her baby daddy, so you shouldn't say, are you okay? But I said, are you okay? And then she was like, no, my baby daddy cheated on me and he's sleeping with my best friend and I can't believe this. Like, this is my best friend. And I was like, wow, that's some crazy right? And she was like venting to me, and I was like, oh my God, this girl is heartbroken because her baby daddy sleeping with her best friend, and I want her baby daddy too, and I've been talking to him. Oh, double whammy. But I continued to listen. After that, I guess like she told him he had to get out, but of course he couldn't just leave. So he was like, listen, she told me out, because we're friends, right? So we're conversing, nothing sexual, nothing crazy. Me and him just friends. We talk, we text, whatever. So he like, yeah, she told me I had to get out, but both our names on the lease. I'm not just leaving like that. She got to give me some time. But I'm not trying to be in her presence like that. I'm about to come up there and I'm going to start chilling with you. And I said, what? You going to come chill with me? He like, yeah, we friends. We cool. I'm like, nah, I don't get down like that. Like, I know I don't know your baby mother, but that's still a neighbor. He like, just so I can show you that I am serious about just being your friend, just being cool with you, I'm going to tell her, like, because I had my daughters at the time. He like, I'm going to tell her, like, I'm bringing our son upstairs to hang out with the neighbor kids. Like, what's she going to say to me? So I said, okay, it works. It made sense in my head at the moment because we're friends. Play date. You're going to come up here and have a play date. Cool. So he was bringing his son upstairs all the time to like play with my daughters. They was in there playing. And of course we would like chat, talk, be a little flirty, things like that. So one day me and him so happened to like take a drink. And when we took a drink, he fell asleep. I don't know where she was at, but I guess she had one out with her family. I don't know what happened. I don't know nothing about that. But he fell asleep. And, you know, I fed the kids dinner. They went to sleep. I didn't want to bother him. I didn't want to wake him. So I fell asleep. And then we woke up in the middle of the night. And we, you know, yeah. And then that happened. And then after that happened, I was open. I thought this was my man. Like, it was great. It was so good. I said, this is my man, and that's on period. Couldn't tell me it wasn't my man. And he continued to come up to my house every day with his son, like every day. What was he telling his, I don't know what he was telling his baby mother, but she knew he was up there. So this was like a thing, and it was happening for a couple months, and we was like doing the do all the time, and feelings started to grow, and it was my man. So I don't know what happened, but I guess his baby mother was like, yeah, this ain't right. Something ain't right with this. So she came upstairs and she knocked on my apartment door and she was like, come here, let me talk to you. And I was like, hey, how may I help you? And she was like, my man in there? I said, your baby father? He's in there, yes, he's sleeping. And she was like, y'all mess around? And I said, yes, we do mess around. And she just started like yelling and screaming. And listen, we was in like a 2-family house, you want to call it, in Brooklyn. So we have a staircase, and the staircase is like these set of stairs. This is this old house in Brooklyn. So at the like rim of the stairs is like this pieces of metal on each step. I don't know what you want to call it, but I guess it like protects the steps. And from walking on it so much, the metal had little like sharp pieces sticking out of each step. Like each step had little sharp pieces of metal sticking out. So you had to be careful going up and down the stairs because, you know, you don't want to cut yourself. She grabbed me by both of my feet. Like, I'm at the top of the stairs, right? At this point, I'm at the top of the stairs. She like maybe like 4 or 5 steps down, and we, you know, this nigga is up. He's in there. He did not come out. He hears all the commotion. He did not budge, did not move, did not, girl. So we, she grabs me by my feet and pulls me down the stairs. So as she's pulling me, remind you, I got on like a tank top, bare skin out, and there's these metal ridges like on the stairs. So as she's pulling me, the steps is literally like cutting in my back. Like the metal ridges on each step, as she pulling me down, they're cutting into my skin on my back, right? Before I even got to the bottom step, the police was at the door. The neighbors done called the police from the time they heard us yelling too loud. They called the police. So by the time I reached the bottom step, and to this day, maybe the neighbors didn't call the police. Maybe he called the police. But anyway, by the time I reached to the bottom step, the police was right there. Like soon, and the front door was open. So the police just walked right in. Like they see me on the floor, mad blood coming out my back. They, miss, put your hands behind your back. So she's like real rowdy. Like they're trying to get the story. And she's just like, I'm gonna kill her, I'm gonna hurt her. And I'm just bleeding, like bleeding. And they automatically arrested her. I didn't press any charges. I didn't do anything. They automatically arrested her. I'm the person assaulted. I'm bleeding. She's bugging. They take her. I never pressed charges. Never did any of that. The state took the case and they pressed charges. So when they pressed charges, she was no longer allowed to come back. Like they put an automatic order protection. It was my residence. The order protection was against her. She could not return there, right? So now she's like out. She can't come back. He got the apartment to himself. I'm upstairs. Now we really in a relationship. Now me and him together for real. My dum-dum was some gum-gum self start staying downstairs in their apartment. Yes. I'm spending the night downstairs now all the time. Now I'm spending the night down there. And I'm thinking like me and him is happy. We in a loving, happy relationship. Like we are just, girl, we are just living the good life. But mind you, everybody on the block looking like, what the fuck? Why are they together? Where's the baby? Where's her boyfriend? Why did this? How did this? So the neighborhood is chatting, baby. So after all of that, you know, the hype dies down and now they have to co-parent. And she's like, number one, that baby cannot go around her. Number two, my son cannot come over to your house because she's there and I can't pop up there because of the order of protection. I don't feel comfortable. The only way you can see my son is if you move. So he moves like 30 minutes away from me. He moves 30 minutes away from me and he moved into like a little apartment or whatever. And I started hanging out there, like, you know, from time to time. But it was always weird because he always wanted to come to my house. Like, he never really wanted me there for some odd reason. He always came to my house. And I was like, okay, this is really, really weird, but whatever. Long story short, come to find out, he was sleeping with the neighbor downstairs in his new building. How I found out? Via Facebook. She was bold, baby. She was Facebook, text messages, phone call. She used to call me, send me videos, send me text messages, post them on social media. And like, I was me out of all people after everything I did. Girl, I was a boo-hooing, heartbroken. Like, but I love him. I need him. And he was really sleeping with his downstairs neighbor. And then they ended up getting into a whole big relationship. And they ended up getting like engaged. And they ended up having a baby together. And throughout it all, I used to be screaming, my man, my man. I used to tell her like, this is my man. Why are you messing with my man? She used to be like, why is your man messing with me? And I was like, yo, I never felt so much hurt in my life. Like, I felt like he ripped my heart out and stomped on it. And now that that was so many years ago and I think back on it, it's like, my mama used to say, how you get a man? Yeah. It's how you gonna lose that man. So, baby, karma just came right around and just smacked me right on in the face, honey. Like, girl, what was I think? Moral of the story, karma is a B. That's number one. And two, don't mess with nobody, man. Like, have some integrity. And I know, like, I was always that girl, and I still am that girl. Like, yo, I could never mess with nobody, man. Like, oh, no, I could never. I can understand how situations happen, especially, like, if people lie to you and feelings get involved. I can understand it, but just please don't be that girl. Like, don't be that girl, because at the end of the day, if he had it in him to deal with you knowing he was in a situation, what you think gonna happen when it comes to you? What makes you so different? And although you may want to feel like, not me, I'm different, I'm this, I'm that, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with who he is as a person. Because guess what? If he was never that person in the first place, he would have never ended up with you. If he was never the person to cheat, to lie, to be sneaky, he would have never ended up being with you. So I don't care how different you may be, because you may be really different. It has nothing to do with you. This is who he is as a person, so he's going to continue to do these things. I just say run. I know from experience. So she seen me today and she stared at me for a really, really long time. It's been a lot of years since she seen me. And I don't know if it was like a stare like a dirty bitch, or if it was a stare like, girl, we could talk and laugh at this moment. But I don't think it was that, girl. I turned the other way real quick. I said, it won't beat me up. Oh, girl, I gotta go.
Jazzy and family.